And welcome back to the next episode of Talk Smack with Mac. Any fans of Black Summer, this is the episode for you. I have an actor from the show, Jesse Lipscombe, getting on, sharing some of his time, talking all the good shit about Black Summer, and maybe jump into some other shit, maybe some sports here and then.
Are you ready? Let's talk smack.
But Jesse, I appreciate your time, brother. Thank you.
Talk smack with Mac. What's good? Yeah, appreciate you having me.
Oh man, I'm always good. I'm always talking my shit, so I'm in a good mood. Good. How's it going? You were just telling me about how where you are is hot as hell and kind of like a staycation.
I didn't know you were in Vegas, so I guess I would have edited it. It's always hot as hell in Vegas, but it's plus 100 degrees for how you guys calculate your heat, but over 35 Celsius up here. So it's it's warm. It's good though. No one's mad.
One thing that I noticed about people in Canada is you guys are all so nice, man. In the last couple of weeks, I've had a handful of Canadian people that have blessed me with some of their time, 2 amazing actresses, and then you getting on my show. So I think Canada is like my way to go.
I mean, yeah, I guess I've heard we're nice people, but I mean, maybe we're just baseline, and maybe you guys are just a touch too grumpy.
Americans are assholes and so.
That's what we're saying,
All right, so man, you played a character Mance in Black Summer, and before we get into the details of this, I want to go out on a limb, a little hot take, and say you probably have one of the most badass zombie scenes I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen at least 30 to 45 zombie movies, bro. Like, I'm a real big zombie nerd. Like, your scene in Black Summer when you're in the airstrip and you're running around, every single way you turn, zombies are coming at you. You're throwing bodies to the side. You're climbing up shit. You're falling down. You're surrounded. Bro, that was absolutely fantastic to watch as a fan. But as an actor, how was it going through and shooting that scene?
Yeah, first off, appreciate it. Very high praise. Thank you kindly. It was it was what you saw. So I can't, as we do such long takes, most of what you're seeing is what we're doing. So it was a lot of work for sure. I mean, I stay in good shape, which is nice, but I was definitely sore because I mean these scenes that was about 2.5 days of that, right? So that's a lot of sprinting and running. And you can't really fake throwing people and picking them up. So all of that stuff's happening, but it was great. That's great for any actor to be able to, I don't have to pretend that I'm sprinting or pretend that I'm tired for sure. So yeah, I enjoyed that. It was a dream action sequence to shoot for sure. So I was really excited that I was able to do that.
Yeah, man, you set the standard for what us fans want to see from a zombie show. Something that's really annoying is when I'm watching a zombie movie or a zombie show and, Stacy down the street all of a sudden never shot a gun before and she's an expert marksman, right? Shooting every zombie in the head. It's very unrealistic.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this show. It's first off, the fact that everyone doesn't just have guns all the time. And not only that, even if you do have guns, you imagine ammo is in short supply as well. And so the only people who are really marksmen were those who, the military, the militia, the police, they know how to shoot people. But I've been to a shooting range or two, and that little paper target is stationary, and my headshots were not good. So it takes some practice to be able to do that. I enjoyed that as well. And I also like that my character, as it turns out, didn't have a gun. I had what I had and used what I could, which is what I think you'd have to do in a time like this.
Mm-hmm. And one thing about your character that comes to mind is most people in the show, they're, I guess, pretty much evil, looking out for themselves. But your character in particular, before you started, doing the running scene, you met the 2 people. You're like, okay, nice to meet you. And then all of a sudden they're gone.
Right. It's funny. There's like a a theme, obviously, of the show, you know, kind of that bygones theme of letting things slide. And, you know, I can say that even though I didn't see episode 5, I didn't read episode 5, so I didn't know about that theme even when I was shooting mine. So that idea kind of just seamlessly went into who my character was. You know, nobody's pure good and nobody's pure bad, which is kind of realistic. I mean, if anyone's close, that's Kyung Sun's character for sure is the closest to that. You know, in my character, I feel he was the person who just did the stuff that had to be done all the time. You know, he did the dirty work, but wasn't doing that to cross people. But he was that person on the team that you could rely on, whether it was, you know, there's people turning into zombies and I'm hitting them with bats, or, you know, carrying the heavy load, but not holding grudges for sure. You know, there's a lot of internal monologue going on with Mance. And there's a lot to do with who he is as a backstory as to why. But yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed playing that character I wasn't out to get people. I was out to get somewhere with people and whoever those people are. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess when survival, you know, is on the line, you either go this way or this way. And Mance took the, I guess, like you're saying, the good route or the best you could in Black Summer, whereas most people went the other way and it's like, okay, I'll kill anybody if it means I survive or the people I love survive. So
yeah,
it's interesting.
It is
interesting.
It's a nice magnifying glass on humanity. And sometimes, you know, I've been reading comments too about how evil everybody is or how stupid decisions they make. But I also say, let's take a look at humanity in general. We often don't work that well together in general, and we do make dumb decisions, and we often are selfish, and it takes more work to go past that and see how you can work together, try to work together, especially in the worst times, right? And depending on how you look at it, we've been in the worst times for many different reasons, whether we're talking about the pandemic, whether we're talking about the racial reckoning. You know, this idea of working together hasn't been our strong suit. So there's a lot. I think Black Summer definitely has a mirror up to society.
Yeah, no, definitely, especially when we were just talking about Americans being selfish as fuck. So there's no argument of why everybody was killing each other in the show, because
your guys aren't that bad. Come on now, it's good.
Lazy and selfish as fuck. I will attest to everybody in America, man. But you just did bring up people in society, and, you know, Juneteenth, you know, just passed, and I seen a video that you dropped that was pretty fucking badass. It was kind of like the backdrop on the name Mance and how you kind of got to dabble in the name and kind of help out with that. Can you tell that story a little bit about that character and that name?
Yeah, absolutely. So John Hyams, director and writer, gave a lot of us a lot of leeway with our backstory and our characters, and really, you know, encouraged us to bring ourselves and whatever we've created to the table. And so for me, when I hear that, it's a dream as a performer and an artist. So I really, you know, dug into who this character would be. And part of that actually happened long before I even knew I would be a part of this series. You know, I was always looking into my own last name and looking into, you know, where our people came from. You know, we live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and there's a place called Amber Valley here, which is where the majority of black settlers came when they were fleeing Jim Crow in the late 1800s. But they were fleeing Jim Crow, and this is a product of, you know, the transatlantic slave trade. And my last name, Lipscombe, is obviously, it's not my name. That's not a traditional African name. That comes from two brothers named Ned and Ted Lipscombe, who ended up coming to Alberta and had slave plantations. And so that name has never really been something that I could culturally put somewhere. So as I'm hunting and looking back, I came across a character, a real person named Mance Lipscombe. He's a blues singer. I'm a singer myself, heard his music. And I thought to myself, one day I wanted to bring that character into real life. You know, there's this quote I heard where a person dies twice. You die when you take your last breath and the last time someone mentions your name. And so when I heard that, I was like, that's deep. And I want to make sure that I can keep mentioning Mance's name. I don't know who he is, but I'm going to keep that memory alive. And so, you know, Mance, he changed his name from, I don't even know what it was before, but it was from the Emancipation Proclamation. And so when I had an opportunity to name this character, I'm like, I'm going to do Mance. And that backstory with Mance too is, you know, being a black man in a world, even today, right now, there's a threat, or there's an idea, there's a stereotype. And someone had mentioned in another interview how, you know, sometimes it takes a zombie apocalypse for us all to forget color and race. And I don't believe that for a second. I still think, you know, you see a 6'4", 260-pound black man walking towards you. You're not thinking, here comes a friend all the time. And I think that's still in the back of Mance's mind. Hence why he'll just let people show their cards first, you know, and this idea of running for safety and running for freedom runs deep in his blood. That's generational. That runs deep in mine too. So that idea of, I will let someone show their cards and I will work with people as I need to, just like I do in real life, but I also will do what I have to do to survive.
That's interesting, man. When I seen that video that you posted just recently, I was like, holy shit, there's so much that goes into just this character's name that none of us even really know about. So I appreciate you sharing that with me. And there's a lot of Black Summer fans out there. I joined a Facebook group, and you know, there's so many people that really dive deep into the show and catch all the little things that I didn't catch the first time.
Right.
It's such like a big plot, and you really have to think outside the box to truly understand the show.
It's a smart show. And one of my favorite things is how it assumes the audience is intelligent. It doesn't spoon feed the audience. And I mean, fair enough. Not everybody likes that. A lot of people want, give me a chronological show. I need to know who this person was. I need to know everything about them. But what this show does is it's almost documentary feel. You just drop in and you don't know, and you're watching it from that spot in that time. And yeah, fair enough, we go back in time in different order, but it really allows you to watch and pick up some of the subtleties. And even those layers you're talking about it's not just what you're watching. It's also like in our names and our characters. This is a show that just keeps on giving. I watched it 3 times, season 2. And even then I learned new things, you know, every single time. There's characters I had interactions with and I didn't know their backstory. And then I find that out. And had I known their backstory, I might have acted differently, but I wouldn't have known their backstory in that exact moment, which I really liked that I didn't have that information. And that's another thing that's a credit to John on how he shot it. And probably a credit to the fact that we were shooting during a pandemic. So we couldn't just interact with each other like you would normally on set. And normally I'd be watching everyone's scenes and we'd be talking about it over drinks, but we had our small cohorts who shot our scenes. That was it. Moved back to your hotel. So a lot of the information I might have normally had, I didn't get to see it. And that was great.
Did the plot had anything to do with like the setting of season 2?
Like, you mean the pandemic? The reason why it was, what do you mean by that?
Oh, yeah, like the pandemic, and you can't really get close to people. You have your smaller groups. So I know season 2 was in the snow. Most of the time people were spaced out.
Yeah. So for sure, there were some things we had to do differently, especially since we had a larger cast in season 2 than season 1. But how do you shoot these? A lot of people thought about this idea of like, we're in the mountains and in the snow, and that's wild when we were in the summer before. Just for everyone listening, that's Calgary. That's Edmonton. That's literally what happens. There's like, we could have a hot day, and then there will be snow the next day. That's just legitimate how it is. Yeah. So even though we had to take almost a year to shoot it, this is regular Alberta weather. Where you go from something that's warm and hot to like 2 feet of snow when you're just like maybe a couple of miles away. So everything about that is legit what it looks like in that terrain. Yeah, that range of temperatures, man, that would psychologically fuck with me a little bit. Absolutely. And it's tough.
You're freezing.
You're wearing the same outfits. So we're like, actually, that's legit. We're in like winter stuff, and then we're still in that same stuff when it's hot. So, I mean, as an actor, for sure, there's a lot to deal with, but sometimes the elements make better performances anyway. So I'm not mad at that.
Definitely. Because if you're freezing your ass off, you're going to see it in your face. You know, if you're acting like it's cold, but it's not really cold, you know, how much can you truly act? But if you're out there and they say action and you're freezing your ass off shaking, that's just adding to the layers of the show.
Well, I mean, Mac, if it's cold and they want us to act like it's warm, we can make it look the way we need to because we're fucking professionals, Mac. So it's
talk your shit, bro.
Yeah, we'll do the job, but I tell you, it helps when it's really cold and it's hard to walk through the snow.
Yeah, exactly. Elements, man, that's one thing. So if I'm thinking zombie apocalypse, nobody's thinking, hey, man, how much harder is it going to be if it's snowing outside?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's miserable. The snow and maybe -5 or, -3 degrees. I've been in that a couple of times. It's miserable. And then if you throw in a pack of zombies trying to eat you alive, it's like, what the fuck, man? So I keep on referring back to that word hopeless. And that seems like that is the tone for Black Summer. Just you're fucked.
Yeah, it is. It is an interesting feeling because we're all headed nowhere or somewhere, right? Like there's like a morsel of hope always that the next place we're headed or the next person we meet might be that next key to something. But the idea of where we're going and is there any safety and the knowledge that everybody's infected, so staying alive is really the only thing. Really, as a human, you got to dig deep on why are you even trying? You know, and what is it that you're fighting for and why are you doing it? And I think that level of hope can dissipate very fast in something like that. But also on the same page, it probably doesn't take a ton to keep it alive. So that, you know, finding somebody that you can believe in or having one little win might be just enough. But, you know, this is, you know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, we're still trying to eat and stay warm before we can start dreaming about like a cure. So there's so many layers on, you know, let me just make sure that I'm alive today. I've had something to eat and no one's eating me. And then next, let's see if I can move a kilometer or a mile that way. So it's very incremental pieces of trying to stay alive, which I think is just a huge level of stress just on the nervous system in general. And they don't give us a break. There's no real break, right? It's not like we've arrived somewhere and we have a community garden that we set up and we're going to plan some rules on who's in charge of the garden. No, we don't have time for any of that stuff. Like it is intense at all times. Every single zombie is a real threat, you know, which I love. It's not like one zombie is like, no big deal. Like if there's
killing one zombie is like the biggest accomplishment. Like, for instance, the episode when everybody was in that big ass house before everybody died. There was like one zombie. The dude's hiding in a tree. The one zombie's out there has everybody shook. It's like, okay, you know, I've watched other shows and you have one man taking out an army. You know, he's killing 45 zombies with 25 bullets. It doesn't make sense. But in Black Summer, you know, one zombie is fucking everybody's day up. Yeah.
And that's legit. I think that also adds to that battle royale scene with Mance, that idea where normally throughout 2 seasons we've seen the struggles to kill one and other than like one rock that's been hit on the head of somebody, nobody's really taken a zombie out without a weapon, without a gun. So there's a whole bunch of like, what is happening right now and is he going to survive? So that's that intensity and the dire need to survive was pretty fun.
Yeah, that magnifies the badassness of that scene because like you just said, you know, for 2 seasons killing a single zombie is an accomplishment versus what Mance does at the, you know, in that specific episode.
Right.
I was like, oh shit. And then at the end, he finally has a break. He drops down to his knees. He's like, oh my gosh, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah. Did you know what zombie that was that I shot at the end? Could you tell?
No.
Yeah. So I was looking at it. So that's Boone. That's the Boone zombie. So the one who's running at me, that's the one who, like, the one, Sonny. So Sonny. Yeah. So that was who it was at the very end running at me, which was one of my great friends in the show too. I was like, sorry, Manuel. I gotta cap one in your zombie.
So when you're fighting zombies or killing zombies, and it is like a co-star that you are familiar with, you're friends with, does that dictate how hard you're going to toss their ass or how soft you're going to throw them?
Well, yes and no. You know, like there's one of my very best friends in the world is actually in this show. His character, although it's never given a title card, his name's Amos. That's what he's named himself. Andrew Measley plays him. He was one of the leaders of the other group. So him and Ray met. He had the orange hat on. He's the one who shot. At the crate. He's the one who shot Boone in the back, Sonny in the back. So him, and so I never really got a chance to kill him properly, but we had planned. If I do, it was gonna, like, I got him, but it was in it was in the melee. You know what I mean? He wasn't like a key kill. But the hope was that I destroyed. If you're my friend, we want to make it extra epic.
Yeah,
of course, right? But I think Mance got a good job of every zombie kill being pretty epic. But they were all different, and they were all creative, and they were all whatever the land gave me to use, which was pretty fun.
Yeah.
What was who was your favorite of them?
The kills or the characters?
The kills.
One of my favorite, man, is when you're running through the in between the hangars and you make a turn, and I think it was a woman zombie, and you lift her ass up against the wall.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And what you said earlier about, you know, fake throwing people, you can't do it. So I'm like, holy shit, man, he really picked that woman up and tossed her zombie ass.
Yeah. So that
someone little like me, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, so that one was fun because that was one of the girls that I shook hands with. That was Jace who jumped. Yeah, I know. We had just made amends, and then sorry, you got to go.
You got to catch it now. It's all about survival. Yeah, that's, right. that's so much fun. I do have an interesting question for you. I didn't know there was any correlation or non-correlation between Black Summer and Z Nation. Is Black Summer a prequel to that show?
Yeah, so that's this information has been moving around. Obviously, John was part of the creation team of Z Nation, and from what I've heard, once Z Nation was canceled, they asked them to make another zombie show in the same world as Z Nation. So that world still existed, and so they did, but this is not an official prequel. And there's, as far as I know, there's no plan for it ever to meet up. I mean, their genres are so different. If anything, the only thing that ties them together is like the world they live in and the kind of the rules. Z Nation mentions Black Summer as that first summer when all of this goes down, and that's where that ideal was born. But other than that, from what I know, there's no plans that I know of, at least. But who am I? I'm just Mance. But as far as I know, there's no plans for that to connect.
Yeah. So season 2, in my opinion, it was fucking awesome. People have their mixed reviews because most people like to see shit being happy all the time. They like to see those really cool heroes. And if that's what you're looking for, this is not the show for you. This is a show where you really got to dive deep into who you are and who these characters are and really put yourself in this situation to be able to actually feel how people feel. Yeah. I love the show. Is there any news on season 3? I know it's kind of like teeter-tottering right now.
Yeah, so there's no official news, obviously, on it, but so I don't have any information that I can share. I would love to, but I got nothing. But I know if we keep watching, you gotta feed the people what they want.
Yes.
So, there's
I think on Netflix is like top 3 show or something like that.
It's doing well. It makes sense. It makes sense. There should be one. I think so. I think a lot of people think so. I'd be heartbroken if I didn't get to expand Mance a little bit and give you a little bit of who he is. But I'll tell you what I want to. Here's what I want to see. I want to see. It'll never happen, but I want to see the survivors of Walking Dead versus the survivors of Black Summer. That's what let's see who like a spin-off show, or let's take it a step further. Not a spin-off show. What I want, Jake Paul, right?
Yep. All right. I was just gonna bring it up.
Dude,
you tag Andrew Lincoln was like, I want these hands, bro.
Tag Andrew Lincoln in this right now. Andrew, look, I love your work. It's great work, but
phenomenal.
But let's take this to the real ring. Let's see if Jake Paul wants to go ahead and do this. Let's get another paycheck. Mance versus Rick Grimes, Jesse Lipscombe versus Andrew Lincoln in a ring. I don't know what your weight class is. I can't cut lower than like 240, so it might not be really fair, but we'll see. We'll see. If you're in, I'm in.
I was just gonna say, you're a big fucking dude, man. Andrew Lincoln's not that big of a guy. He's a badass on the show, but that's not fair.
I mean, who knows? I don't know what his training is. He might be like a Hoist Gracie, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, right. But you know what? Unless you're Floyd Mayweather versus, Jake or Logan.
Yeah.
That much of a weight difference, that shit doesn't work in real life.
All right, fine. Dwayne Johnson, I'm calling you up then. Let's go.
Oh, shit. You must be saucy with the hands if you're
Yeah, we in the same weight class, although I think I'm a little heavier than him, but I'm in. Let's do it.
God, just sitting here talking to you saying that you're heavier than a rock. You must be a fucking huge dude.
I mean, it's funny you say huge dude. This is good. That was my character's name before I named him. On the script, it was called Huge Dude. Yeah. So, and this is what John does. Like, the characters don't have names. He doesn't want to, paint who the people are until they audition and get it. So, Huge Dude was my character. Like, Kyung Sun's character was Refugee. There's all, like my friend who named himself Amos, his was Little Guy or Small Dude. So it's funny, right? Huge Dude was who I was auditioning for.
Good shit. Man, it's funny you bring up The Walking Dead because I'm sitting here thinking, all right, the last like 2-3 seasons was absolutely shit. I was the biggest fan of The Walking Dead for so long. And then you take Andrew Lincoln out the show, or he takes himself out the show. It's like, why does it keep going? So if Walking Dead could go a few more seasons without its main character, Black Summer's getting at least 5 or 6.
You'd think so. That's what I'm banking on. You know, that's the plan. There's so much still to tell, and so many ways this can go, and so many answers that people want to know. And I do like how hungry people are to learn just a little morsel more about some of these characters. As frustrating as it is, that exact frustration will also allow us to feed you just a little bit more and give you a little bit more. So the way it's being written, it makes a ton of sense to me. It really just has us. It's cruel. It's like, here's a nugget, and you get a little bit, and then you're not satisfied, but you want some more. And I think there's just so much space for that to happen, where our season arc doesn't just peter out, right? We didn't just offer all of it right at the beginning. We make you work for it as an audience as well. Even as actors, we work for it. We want to tell more stories, but the fact that we can't all the time, it just keeps us hungry. And you know, kind of the theme of the show, you know, hungry to survive, zombies hungry to eat, fans hungry to learn. So stay hungry, and we'll keep feeding you a little bit at a time.
I know that's right, man. On the show like this, where there's so many, like you said, season 2 has a lot bigger cast than season 1, screen time is limited. What is something that you do to kind of separate yourself from other people and help you stand out a bit?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's anything specifically. This is, you know, at the end of the day, most actors are on a journey to tell the truth in the most authentic way possible. And within, like, you know, the guides that we have for our character. So, like, for me, it's this idea of creating, like, if you imagine like a backyard that has fences. And so I know what the rules are based on the team of what can be inside my yard. So this character can do this. Maybe this character is right-handed. Maybe this character has an injury, whatever it is. And then the rest of it is I get to play freely within that spot. So I stay as authentic as I can, but being able to react in real time, real moments with whatever my other co-stars provide me. And I think it's not even a matter of trying to stand out per se, as opposed to like exist in the truth in an authentic way every single second. And doing that just allows your character to exist as a real person, regardless of what they're doing. So I'm just on a journey to keep telling the truth as best as I can. And hopefully that then resonates on screen.
Yeah, well, shit, man. Bravo to you, dude. You fucking really had me at the edge of my seat. And I was like, I hope this dude doesn't die, because I want to watch him kick some more ass going forward.
I appreciate it. It's almost like I set the bar pretty high. Like I assume if we have a season 3, we're expecting someone.
Yeah, how do you surpass that? You know,
I know. I worry. I'm like, can he make it out unscathed again? Like, I don't know. This is why it's exciting for me to. Fingers crossed we get a 3, and then I just can't wait to read the scripts if we do.
All right, well, shit, all 31 people that watch my podcast, you guys need to go and check out Black Summer. Watch that shit 2 or 3 times, man. Let's get these guys back for season 3 and beyond. Yes, but sir. I want to ask you, you know, Black Summer is only one thing that you've been in. How long have you been acting for?
Yeah, I've been acting. Okay, so let's see here. I don't know, man. Since 1994 is when I did my very first show. Did a TV show with Sidney Poitier. We were nominated for an Emmy. I was 14. That kind of started my acting game. And I've been doing shows for over 25 years. This is what I do. I do this, and I speak, and I make music. That's kind of my gig. I've been an artist forever, and will continue. That's just what I do. I create.
Yeah, long time. Realm of creativity is your thing.
Yeah. I'm a professional passion follower. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, so, man.
Yeah.
That is professional passion follower. That's fucking awesome, because most people get caught up in living a 9-to-5 and just trying to pay their bills, and their passions and their dreams kind of sit on the side.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's a tough one too to wrap your head around, in a sense, because there's the idea of golden handcuffs. You have a job, you maybe don't love the job, but then, you know, you have a little bit of time to explore your passions after, but you got family, you got kids, and you got bills. And that idea that you can make a living doing the thing that you're the most passionate about is often, it's often missed. And I get that. But I also know you can guarantee that anybody, whatever your passion is, somebody's doing well and someone's making a living at it. And sometimes you just got to take that leap if you can, because it's the most beautiful thing ever. It's very difficult, but it's not work in the same way. It's hard work, but there's something about, that's just making your light as big as humanly possible. And then other people see that same light and say, hey, can I light my torch on yours? Sure. Of course, it's a fire. They can get their own light. When we're living in our own light, it's a beautiful feeling. And if ever you have the space to even try, I say, take the leap, It's a great fall, and it feels good.
Yeah, I was in the military for, 5 years. And after I got out, I was kind of in that realm of I'm going to go to college, get my degree, and then pursue that, make a good living, make some good money. But along that time in the last couple of years, I was like, you know what? There's more for me, man. I can do more. I want to pursue something that makes me happy. And that's where the podcast dream kind of came alive. And now I'm sitting down talking with you, a guy that I just watched your show last week. And I was like, that is a badass motherfucker right there. And then I have you on my podcast. So it's like everything is attainable as long as you work hard and stay consistent.
Yeah, you have to just move, right? So the fact is, you did the thing, you reached out, and here we are, and now we're talking, and this is a ripple that does something else somewhere else. You have to move, you got to do shit, right? Yeah, you can think about it, but just do shit. And as you do shit happens, and then you keep responding to it. It's it can be a beautiful thing. It's not an easy thing necessarily, but it might be for you. For me, it's not.
It's not easy at all. Shit.
No, at all. Like I said, I've been acting for 2.5 decades, and majority of the people who've seen the show have never seen me before. But I've been working for 2.5 decades, right? Like it's a ton of work. There'll be a time it'll be like introducing Jesse Lipscombe. I'm like, we're 30 years in, but I've been
introduced a lot.
But that's all right, because for me, again, I like I said, I do it for the craft, and anything on the outside of that is a bonus. But the craft itself feeds my soul, so I stay happy.
Okay, I guess you gotta look at any little shine of light that you can take. So 30 years in, and you're saying people are still saying introducing Jesse Lipscombe as if you just got started. Maybe not every single time, but that can happen.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, of course, there's so many people in the world. That's great. I can keep offering art to them. And some people have never heard of me, and some people have, and that's all good either way. But just the fact that I am able to do this as a job, I am just honored to do so, but also proud that I didn't quit. Because it's easy to quit, because it's a tough business for sure, but it's such a beautiful business too. And there's nothing like working your ass off and seeing some fruits from it. So yeah.
Yeah, well, 30 years in, man, and you're still going strong. You have to have some type of mental strength to get through the tough times. Is there any advice that you would give to aspiring actors or actresses that maybe have lost their way a little bit towards their quest for that success in something that they love?
For sure. I would say, I take this pro athlete mentality. I went to school at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. I was there on a full athletic scholarship. I was a high jumper. Top. I was number 6 in the world at one point, which was great. But the great part about that is, even at the best as a high jumper, I had to fail 3 times. I had to knock the bar off 3 times, even to win a competition. So failing was a part of my DNA. It had to happen. So I would say this: you're going to fail more than you're going to win. But the second part is just keep doing stuff. Not waiting, because no one's coming for you. Everyone's taking care of themselves. So just make sure that you exist. Keep creating content. You have cell phones that shoot in 4K. And you get a ring light. You can write your own stuff. You can put it up on YouTube. If it's good, people will like it. If it's shitty, it sucks. So then make something better. But don't stop. And a lot of us are like, I want to be an actor. Get me an agent. Can you put me in your movie? No. Why? Who? Why? For what? And I get that. Do stuff. Make yourself show what you can do. And it's those people who work. It might be you might make 90 things and one of them gets noticed. But there it is. You did 90 things with 90 opportunities for experience. Just keep making and making and making and talking and learning and asking questions, and don't assume anybody owes you anything. Yeah. They don't, right? But you owe yourself enough to not stop.
Yes, and failure, man, you got to embrace it. You got to look failure in the face and say, "Fuck it, man, bring it on." Because with every failure, it's an opportunity.
You can have a quick cry first because it sucks. But then I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I failed. I'm like, fuck, I wanted that role so bad, and I'm upset, and I'm gonna have a quick cry, and then I'm gonna put my boots back on and try again.
Yeah, look back and say, okay, what did I do wrong, or what could I have done better at, and learn from there. With 90, or you do 90 things and you only get chosen once, so 89 times you could look back and say, I could have done this better. I could have done this better.
In this business, sometimes it's not even you, right? It might just not fit, and that's okay. Yeah. So just knowing that if you put your best foot forward and you're proud of your work, you already won.
That's what I've heard in these last few podcasts that I've done, is that you could be absolutely perfect, but sometimes that role is just not meant for you. You know, you're not what they're looking for. It's nothing has to do with how good or bad you may have been. It's just they're looking for somebody else.
Yep, that's right. And that's all right. That is all right. As long as you can be proud of what you've done, you can't really be upset. So
I know that's right, man. All right, we've been talking about acting and Black Summer and all that from now, but you mentioned high jumping, number 6 in the world. That's fucking badass. How high were you jumping? I'm not very familiar with high jump, but
yeah. So let me do it American style. So maybe like 7'4", 5, 7'5", maybe, I think. So 230-ish. Yeah, you know, like a little bit over your door.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm getting like a quarter of that.
I look at it now and say, well, that's a lot. That's too much work. I don't know why I didn't just go around or go under, because why would you go over? It's so much work. But I'm thinking right now it's you know, Olympic year, so every time I get nostalgic, I want to put my spandex back on. But yeah, it was great, man. Track was great. I got to travel the world, obviously, make some money doing something that I loved at the time. Yeah, it was good. Sports were great. I played basketball as well. I play, you know, a lot of different sports. I mean, bobsled, bowling, you know, all the things. I just liked competing, and I still love competing. And I love just bringing the best version always, everywhere, to everything, especially in the world of film and TV, because that stuff is captured forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so always bringing your best foot forward and always being willing to learn from those who know more. And that's sport too. You know, that same mentality. A lot of times sport really just bleeds into professional life, work life. There's so many lessons there. You know what the grind feels like when no one's watching and it's raining and it's cold and there's nobody else there and you're just doing the work. And you know what happens when you do that. So kind of bringing that mentality in has helped a ton.
I know that's right. So basketball, you said you played basketball. Who's your favorite team?
I'm a proximity fan. So Toronto, because we only got one team.
Yeah.
And then when it's not Toronto, then it's Atlanta, because that's where I lived. So I'm happy right now, although we're down 2-1 as it is today to the Bucks. But yeah, so that's my teams right there.
Okay, so you've been a little spoiled as of late. You know, Kawhi comes down, gets you guys a championship. What happens in Toronto and Canada after you get that win?
Well, Kawhi didn't come down and get us a championship. Kawhi came up and we let him have a championship with us. If Kawhi came down and gave us a championship, what's he doing since he left? I don't see any other championships. And he's apparently had more people.
He got you guys over the hump. You know, Kyle Lowry is nice. You know, before Kawhi, you had DeMar DeRozan, you had Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol. You guys had a squad, but Kawhi was that guy.
Was the missing piece to a team. Mm-hmm. Yes, he was. Kawhi, as we can see, can't do that on his own. He hasn't been able to do it on his own. That's what I'm saying. Now, LeBron does shit on his own. LeBron shows up a team and wins championships.
Yeah.
Right? So what I'm saying is Kawhi came. He was the missing piece. He went back. Obviously, you know, Paul George wasn't enough. And it looks like he's not enough again. So I'm just saying, yes, thanks, Kawhi, but maybe you should have stuck around instead of pieced out to your hometown to lose twice.
Yeah. And who goes to the Clippers, man? I like to play basketball. Obviously, I'm not in the league, but in my mind, I'm never like, hey, I'm going to go to the Clippers.
I mean, I do understand this fun LA rivalry, though. That's kind of, you know, it's not really coming to fruition the way that I think they had hoped it would. But yeah, and apparently he lives close there and he's very much a homebody. So maybe. But yeah, I agree. But also, some would argue who goes to Canada. It's, you know, who says that? People who haven't been, because Toronto's sick, first off. But I think for the most part, they're like, I'm not going to Canada. It's cold. It's 100 degrees today. It's not cold.
Yeah, 100 degree difference, you know, 100 degrees now, and then in 5 months, it's going to be fucking -10.
That's right. We appreciate stuff, right? See, I don't just expect the sun to bask on me daily as if it will never go away. I know it's going away soon. So what do? I soak it up. And I know, wow, what a great season. Seasons in life. I get beautiful colors of fall leaves falling down. Then the snow is beautiful. Then I go snowboarding and I'm in the mountains and the hot tubs in spring. What's Vegas get? Just hot. Right?
Yeah, no, man, there is a lack of season in Las Vegas. You don't get to see shit. And even when it is supposed to be changing colors and whatnot, it's a desert, man. The dirt stays the same color.
I know. I know, but I do love Vegas, man. I'll be there soon. I play a lot of poker, so I got some poker tournaments to come down to.
Man, whenever you stop and come down, if you want to get on the pod in person, definitely hit me up, bro.
Okay, that's end of this month. I'm coming, so yeah, let's do it.
Oh, what the fuck is going on right now? This is
okay. So listen, when we get off of this, we'll connect with some actual contact info. Then we'll have a drink and we'll set something up. That'd be fun.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Let's do it. Well, back to basketball. You know, you said Atlanta. That is your second team. You went to college out there. The Hawks somehow made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. One thing that I have noticed before this season started, you know, Trae Young, he's a baller. He's a baller. You know, put up 30 and 10 his second season. The dude is different. Yeah. But his lack of defense kind of had me up in motion. Is this guy a star or not? Now, after watching this year, not only is this kid a star, but I think he is solidifying himself as a superstar. Now, in my book, a star and a superstar is that guy that's, you know, Russell Westbrook. You're getting the points, you know, you look good. You're one hell of a player.
Sure.
But a superstar will make you win. Like you said, LeBron goes to teams and he just wins.
Yep.
What's your opinion on Trae Young? Star or superstar?
Yeah, no, I feel he's on the bridge from star to superstar right now, and I think we're watching it. And I'm not saying it has to happen in this season, but it has the potential to. I mean, if they go to the final, it's going to be mainly as a result of him being clutch when he needs to be clutch, and that's the key. I think superstar has more clutch moments versus just being able to put up 40 game after game, right? It's like, what's happening when I need you right then? And this is a thing with Harden, star or superstar. You know, very similar when we're talking about defense issues. He can put up these numbers. Westbrook can put up these numbers, but do they follow with championships or even, you know, do we see them in the final? So I think right now we're watching and we'll be able to see if that's the case. He definitely has the ingredients for superstar, but I wouldn't put it on him yet. It hasn't happened yet, but I see that it can. Based on where he came in, what is it? He's 22 right now. You know, like the amount of time he's got, even just showing up in the final right now is going to pretty much solidify him becoming a superstar, even probably for himself mentally, as well as for fans too. So I'm excited about him. And he's 6'1". I mean, and that's what they wrote down. So he's probably
with shoes on and 2 pairs of socks.
Yeah, very much. He's a better position, I think, than Steph was at this age. You know, and so there's a lot that can happen in building the team even more around him. So there's a lot. It's really looking bright for him, injury free. I think it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, man. That Atlanta team, they're so young, man. Clint Capella is like the oldest in their starting 5. And what is he, 28, 27, something like that? He's like my age. So that team has the makings to be good for a while. And then if you take Danilo Gallinari and Lou Will coming off the bench, it's like, oh shit, this is now a solid playoff team.
Yeah. It's exciting. I like it. I'm excited to watch. Oh man, they gotta get through.
Yeah, Giannis is looking like a monster right now, and he has been. And, you know, Giannis is really showing up in the playoffs this year, and he's playing big minutes. You know, last year he was playing like 28 minutes a game in the playoffs. Is very confusing. I don't know if he was hurt, tired, you know, the pandemic and the bubble kind of slowed him down. But right now he's playing 35, 38 minutes a game, crushing everybody. So
I know he's looking as best as he's looked right now, which is scary for the whole league.
Oh, yeah. He's got to shoot. He's got to make some shots. If Giannis could maybe get like a KG Tim Duncan mid-range, he doesn't really have to take.
No, he doesn't.
He's a fucking giant. He doesn't need to.
Middleton's taking care of it right now. So, you know.
He came out big last game. What did he put up, like 37, 38 points, something like that?
Yeah, I feel like if Middleton does that, we're okay right now. He's got some time to step that piece up with the game. And a lot of people forget KD also didn't have that at the beginning of his game. So it's very, very doable for that to occur. KD is also he's an alien. What do you do with him? What do you do? He can do everything, and he's 7 feet tall. He's a point guard. What is that?
Coming off an Achilles injury, and it's looked like the dude got better.
I wish he didn't get hurt, because I still think Toronto wins that one, but nobody will ever let that slide. They won't let it slide.
You're fucking insane. You're insane.
Hey, first off, let's go back to that. Let's go back to that fateful year. Okay? Listen, so in the regular season, full squad, Toronto still wins every single time. They did. They're like, well, that's just regular season, not playoffs. Well, fine, it was full squad. Then in the playoffs, full squad, nobody injured. Toronto still beat them with KD. So I'm confused on why everyone thinks that's that that's not a possibility when statistically speaking, every time the full squad was there, Toronto only lost one time. And we're talking about 4 out of 5.
The game that KD got hurt on one leg, the homie dropped like 25 in the first half.
He did.
Toronto was about to get fucked up.
Yeah, we were about to lose that game.
Oh, the series. It was a wrap.
No, the game. It was just the game.
Hey, that is the most, put an asterisk. Look, you guys got the championship. You keep it. You have it.
There'll be no asterisks.
There's an asterisk
no
by that championship. 2 catastrophic injuries to 2 of the best players on the other team.
Well, how good are they? How good are they? They're weak. Hit the weight room, good players. Why you break it? Why are your players broken? Yeah, a little bit of wind and they break their Achilles. A little bit of wind, they hurt their MCL. We are built strong. We're built different here. We don't break. We get stressed and we blow our knee out. Asterisks, go to the weight room, get some rehab, and be a strong professional athlete.
All right. So it must be something in the water in Canada because you guys are just different up there. Kawhi went up there, he drank that water, and his quad got better.
4 seasons. That's why. We have 4 seasons.
Oh, man. And Las Vegas better not ever get a team because we do not have seasons out here, man. No. It goes from it's very blistering hot to, oh, this is a nice winter.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
You shouldn't even be allowed to use the word winter. It's a lie. That's a lie.
It's like a really good fall. You know, our winters get down maybe to like 40 degrees.
That's right. That's nighttime.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's just a nighttime.
That's tonight for you. You're going to go from 100 to 40 tonight.
Yeah, I wonder, what is that in Celsius? Because we'll be like 25, 20-ish at night. Do you know? No, you don't know. Right?
Oh, man, I don't. I know numbers a little bit, but, you know, the calculations from Celsius to Fahrenheit, I'm a little lacking.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, like our right now, it'll be 67 at night.
Right. That's still a 33-degree difference. You know, in Vegas, it's going to go from 112 to 100.
That's wild. I love Vegas so much. I need to
get the shit, man. All right, give me your predictions. Eastern Conference Finals winner and Western Conference Finals, and then give me your NBA championship winner.
Yeah, okay. It's gonna. No, I'm going with my heart. Atlanta's gonna make it. They're gonna beat the Bucks. That's what I have to go with my heart. I'm a professional passion follower, not a statistical follower. So,
hey, man, talk your shit.
So we're gonna see Atlantis and Phoenix, and Phoenix is gonna get that chip.
Man, Chris Paul getting his first ring at 36 years old. The fact that this dude at this age went from a Suns team, or took a Suns team that was borderline playoffs at best, we are beating the shit out of everybody. DeAndre Ayton is turning into a star. He's making their number 1 pick, choosing him over Luka and Trey. He's closing that gap a little bit. Still has a long ways to go, but he's closing that gap.
I love Phoenix and Paul because you can't argue that it was Chris Paul that did the thing. Like, it wasn't like maybe like he shows up and they are next level, right? But Chris Paul himself, like Chris Paul, arguably one of the best point guards in ever, right? But also, like, he at this stage in his season coming in and doing what he did is such a script. I just want to see this thing finished properly because this might be it though too, because he's 36. You know, like, to play these type of minutes that he's doing right now. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we see Phoenix, Atlanta, and I'm hoping it's Phoenix. Although, I mean, literally Phoenix, Atlanta, I'm just a happy guy either way. So
yeah, right. Yeah. All right, so Chris Paul, he's 36. What if this dude comes in, you know, gets his championship, plays one more year for Phoenix, and then he goes to the Lakers with Bron?
It won't matter. We won't see him. If he does, we won't see him very much. He'll be a locker room captain, and that's that. Because there's
no, he could still come and give 17 minutes a game, 20 minutes a game.
Yeah, but like, what a deflation as an I'm talking as an athlete, right? Yeah. If I go from a championship team, then I go to play and be like third choice point guard off the bench, coming off a championship after all that work. I would rather stay with Phoenix and extend my contract. I don't know where his contract is, but I'd rather be a player with them and see if we can get some more people there. I feel like that would be my move at this stage. At 36 years old, I think I'm a bask in what I created and enjoy my life in Phoenix with all of that. There's that feel good, you know. I don't know if I'd run to the Lakers for the end of that. That'd be weird. It would
let me give you a kind of scenario similar to Chris Paul. Say you're on Black Summer, right? Black Summer signs you to a fat ass contract. You get paid. You're taken care of.
Right.
You go, you put out one last season, your contract is up. The show does absolutely amazing. You can either stay with Black Summer or run it back, or you could go and do a movie or TV show with your best friend that has really good potential to do great.
Well, see, in our world, I'd do both, but I hear what you're saying.
Break it down for me.
Yeah, I know, but if that happened, no, I mean, it's not even the same thing. Like a really good movie with my friend, we're actually talking about like a blockbuster film, right? Because that's what the Lakers are. They're a blockbuster film, like a Marvel movie. So do I stay after we've done this thing at Black Summer, or do I go shoot my Marvel movie? My contract's up and Black Summer wants to do another season. Yeah, it's a tough question, man. That is a tough question. I think it depends. This is what it depends on. What's the script? Where are we going? Do I feel it still has any more legs? And if not, then I'll bounce to the Marvel movie. But the script in the Phoenix world is like, who's coming back? Who's on our team? Who's coaching now? What is our direction? So I'd still have to make that decision based on other variables.
Oh, all right. You jumped around the question, but I'll take it. All right. So you have Suns and the Hawks in the finals. I hope it works out like that. If not, we're going to see the Bucks and the Suns. And I think the Suns are going to beat their ass, man.
Okay. So who you got? You got Bucks and Suns?
I got Bucks and Suns. After the Hawks lost by 40, man, I lost my hope in them. I want them to go so bad.
All right. Let's put some on it. I'm going to see you next month.
All right, shit. Let's do it, bro.
Okay. Let's put I'll take you for dinner or vice versa.
Hey, sounds like a plan.
All right. I like it.
All right, Jesse, on my show on Talk Smack with Mac, I give everybody their chance. First time you get on my show, you get the spotlight. I shut the hell up, and you can tell people what you have coming next, what you want people to know, where to find you, any of that good shit. The spotlight is yours.
All right, I appreciate it. Okay, I got a couple things for you. First off, if anyone wants to follow me on any of the socials, you can at the Lipscombe. That's real easy. It's just my last name with the in front of it. I got a couple new singles out on Spotify, so you can go check those out. One of them is called Don't Knock Me Out. It's my latest single that I got to do with one of the most amazing sax players ever, Brett Miles. And more importantly than anything, as we talk about this racial reckoning that's happening and how do we level up our game and be proper allies and activists, we created a game that is almost like the antithesis of Cards Against Humanity. It's called Not That Funny. If you go to notthatfunny.store, you can check it out. It's a card game where you uncover all of the different microaggressions that happen in everyday language and jokes and discover why they're damaging and problematic to marginalized individuals in the BIPOC community. Notthatfunny.store. Check it out, and let's just be a little bit better than we were yesterday.
Oh, man, awesome. Well, Jesse Lipscombe, actor, singer, athlete, thank you, man. I really appreciate you showing some of your time. Talk Smack with Mac, man. Another episode, we out.
Peace, brother. Thank you very much.
Let's talk smack.